Yes, we're finally here. We finally reached the end of 2017, which means we've had a year of movies. And generally, this has been a pretty good year of movies, from remakes to sequels to Oscar bait stunners to being a pretty good year of comic book movies. We had a very, very good year, guys. A very good year. One of the best in recent memories. And yes, I did see more movies than ever before, but I think the quality of not only the list coming up, but the movies in general this year was very good. I mean, a lot of the movies that I put on my most anticipated list, I mean, the worst rating I gave of any of them is a B minus, which shows how good of a year this really has been. The movies that we expected to be good were good. The movies we necessarily didn't expect to be good, some of them turned out to be decent. I mean, obviously we had some stinkers, and I'll talk about that on my best, on my worst of the year, obviously. But right now we're going into the top 10 best movies of 2017, and as of any list, this is definitely my personal list. This is not necessarily, it is a best list, but it is my best. It's my personal favourites. If we're talking structurally sound movies, perfectly best made, the list has shifted a little bit, but personal taste is definitely on my list, and as well as rewatchability and having a bit time to think about all these movies and what I've really been excited to watch again, which since it's come out definitely plays a factor into this. And what doesn't play a factor necessarily is ratings. Just because I gave movies an A does not mean they're going to be the best on my list. Yes, the 3 movies I gave an A are in my top 5, but they're not top 3. So we got a whole list to get through, and obviously I didn't see everything. There's a lot of movies that I wouldn't say a lot of movies, but there's some movies maybe they're a bit more limited in release that I didn't see. They were meant to be very good. There's some movies that hasn't even been released in Australia as of 2017. But enough is enough chatting. Let's get into the list with starting with some honorable mentions. Wonder. Great family friendly, really great, just great time. Get Out. A very, very spooky thriller, Jordan Peele directing, not what I expected, but delivered a great movie. Split, M. Night Shyamalan producing something great again, just misses out on the list. Patriots Day, technically a 2016 movie, but didn't come out in Australia 2017, so it's stuck on my list, but definitely a great biopic. And Coco, definitely the best animation movie of the year, and it is just a great time all round. So let's get into the list, starting with number 10, Spider-Man Homecoming. This movie was pretty good. I mean, you know, just expecting some big things out of a Spider-Man movie hasn't necessarily always delivered in recent history, as we know. But this movie delivered. It delivered a really good origin story without being an origin story. Tom Holland produces another great performance as Spider-Man. Definitely, personally, my best. Not only Peter Parker, but Spider-Man. The whole character in general, I think he nails, and we gave it a very good origin story. Moving on to number 9, Baby Driver. A movie I really didn't see coming at all. I just caught it like a week before it came out, and I was like, let's go and see this shit. And it was phenomenal. It had a lot of cool elements to this movie. Great use of music as well as action and comedy. It just combined a lot of great things into one movie that was really, really enjoyable to watch. Very fast-paced, action-packed, but it hits you with some great scenes of music and some great scenes of comedy and delivers a very, very good movie. Number 8, Blade Runner 2049. Now, don't turn off the video right now, because seeing how high this is on my list. It is here because of personal love and rewatchability. That is the only factor. As movies go, this is close to perfectly made. This is a really great told story with really great characters and really very little you can complain about besides pure entertainment factor. Now, entertainment factor, I'm not taking away from it. I had a really good time with this movie and I had a lot more intrigue than I thought, but I think the first half is a little bit slower. But I'm not reviewing the movie. None of these are reviews. You can see my reviews by clicking the other links, whatever. But this movie is definitely very good and one of the best movies of the year. And, you know, Harrison Ford, Ryan Gosling, and some cool shit. It's going to deliver. Number 7, Thor Ragnarok. Personally, I thought this movie was always going to be good, but not as good as it was. Honestly, guys, I haven't had a lot of fun with the first 2 Thor movies. I spoke about that in my review. And this movie just delivered. It took a different angle of Thor than what we haven't seen before, and it goes, okay, we're not going to follow the traditional Thor route, and we're not going to give you the same bullshit that's not working. We're going to spice it up. And yes, we're going to go the basic MCU route, where we're going to add a bunch of comedy and a bunch of action and put them together. But it delivered. It delivered a very funny movie, delivered a very fun movie to watch, very action-packed, and it actually made me give a shit about Thor a little more than I had previously, as well as Hulk being a great, no, I wouldn't say cameo, but a great splice into someone else's movie. I think this movie worked on pretty much every angle it was trying to do, and definitely one of the best MCU films. Number 6, this might shake a few people up, maybe shake a few feathers with this one. Greatest Showman. Now, this movie is a musical, and people need to understand, if you don't like musicals, you're not going to like this movie. I love musicals, I love what this movie did as a musical, and that is why it's so high up on my list. I definitely think, as far as musicals go, Greatest Showman did perfectly. It has a few minor flaws, but as a musical goes, it is a core hitting musical with phenomenal music that I can't forget. The soundtrack has been just non-stop playing in my head. I want to listen to it, I want to sing to it, I want to watch it again, and it's just been phenomenal. They just turned an idea that didn't necessarily be a musical, and they made it a musical, and they made it work. And this is the one time I will say fuck the critics, even though I'm technically one of them. I think people need to approach this as a musical, and again, if you don't like musicals, you're not going to like this, but you know what, if you do, that's why it's there. And I do. I love it, and number 6, there you go. Moving on to number 5, the top 5 movies, best movies of 2017. This is a hard list to crack into. Number 5, War of the Planet of the Apes. And I know people keep saying it's not really a war, I understand that. But this movie is a phenomenal ending to a trilogy. I think they perfectly ended the Apes trilogy. They gave us a great movie, they gave us great characters, they gave us everything you wanted to see in a Planet of the Apes movie, and they did it. And they gave you a really good movie. And yes, it could be a little bit slow and a little bit long, but I think it worked in its favour, and it is meant to do that, to kind of build into what it was, and it became a great thing. And Caesar is just one of the greatest, coolest guys ever. I know he's a fucking monkey, or an ape, whatever you want to call it, that shit's dope. Moving on to number 4, and number 4 is probably the best made movie of the year. I think it is close to perfection as a movie goes in making, but I think part of the love is the cinematic experience and watching it the first time, and that movie is Dunkirk. You can't explain. This is exactly what everyone predicted it to be. It's almost the perfect war movie. The way it does it, it doesn't focus on the characters and make you care about the people, but it makes you care about them in another way. And you don't really get a lot of dialogue. You get a lot of hard-hitting scenes. You get a lot of great, just phenomenal soundtrack and really intensity. And again, I said the reason why it is such a great movie to watch, you got to be watching it for the first time. I think that's always going to be your best watch. Not only because you know what's going to happen, don't know what's going to happen, but the way you watch it is definitely enhanced. And yes, you can go back and watch it, and it's still going to be a phenomenal movie. But I think it's always in the first watch it's going to be better, which is why even though I gave it an A and the next 2 movies gave a B+, it is sitting at number 4. Number 3. Wonder Woman. We did it. We got a fucking good DCEU film, guys. It took a while. It took longer than it should have. We got a few disappointments before we got to this one, and this is the least anticipated I've been going into a DCEU film. But it was a phenomenal film. It was definitely a personal favourite of mine, which is why it's so fucking high up on the list, and I don't think it's been on many other people's lists. And I think it just delivered. It gave you, Gal Gadot just absolutely killing it as Wonder Woman, and it gave us a very good story. And yes, it fell into the trap of the classic DCEU big boss fight at the end, but I think that is the minor flaw of this great movie. It gives you a similar thing to Marvel did, which is giving you a kind of a light-hearted thing with a serious thing. And yes, it hits you with comedy, and it works, and it really does give you a great movie. And I'm so fucking happy to say one of the DCEU film is on this list, because last year it wasn't, and I was very disappointed with 2 of the movies that came out. Moving on to number 2, and we're hitting it hard with a horror movie, It. This is obviously a remake of the original It, and I think this movie just fucking destroys the old one, honestly. And I know I'm being kind of biased because this is my time and this is when it came out, but it kicks its ass. This movie is phenomenal. It's not just your everyday horror. They took it something different. They gave you a coming-of-age story in horror movie form, and that's what I really liked about it. It didn't just fall into the same bullshit jump scares and yeah, we might get you with a scary looking clown, but then you're going to forget about it. You actually go, this is a really good movie, you know, it tells a really good story. You get a lot of characters interplaying into this story, and you really give a shit. You know, they're not just throwaway characters. These are people and characters developing really well, and I really thank the guys that did this movie I think this, I won't say revolutionizes the horror movies. This gives an example of what horror movies should be. Don't just give us the scares, give us characters and give us development and give us something more, and this movie definitely did that. And here we have it, guys. The best movie of 2017. By no surprise, it's been on pretty much everyone's list, everyone's top 5. It's got to be up there because it's just legit. And that movie is Logan. Logan delivered on pretty much every element that a movie should deliver on. Not only was it a similar thing to when I said about it is more than a horror movie, Logan is more than a superhero movie. It's a normal, great action movie that has been put in superhero form. And that's what I really liked. Again, they made you care about the characters. They made you invest in these people. And yes, it is a superhero movie, but it is a lot more. And if anyone isn't into superhero movies, I definitely recommend seeing this one, because this one gives you everything you wanted. It gives you a great ending to the Wolverine character and Hugh Jackman, and I'm not saying what happens in it, but obviously he said it was going to be his last film, so I think it's a great way to end it, and I think it just delivers on pretty much everything it does in this movie, and I obviously gave it an A for a reason, because it is truly a truly great film, and I went out and bought it pretty much straight away, which is rare because I don't really buy new releases, but I had to go and get this one, and I just can't say enough about it. Thank you guys for watching my list, my top 10 best movies, obviously, and this obviously means we're going to have some stickers, and I'm obviously going to have a worst list, so look forward to that as well. And if you guys are wanting a bit more of extended look and extended thoughts about what I thought of the movie, you can check out my reviews. Every single movie on this list I've reviewed. I haven't watched a movie this year that I haven't reviewed. If I watch it, I review it, and that's the way it is. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed my list, and obviously it is my list, so don't hate me too much for the few things I put on there that maybe get some people riled up. This is obviously a personal list, and I think we can all agree these are great movies nonetheless. I didn't put any stinkers on there, but thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for supporting me during this year. Getting the channel up again has been really great, and having basically a full year of videos up was just I really enjoyed getting the chance to put all these videos up. Thank you guys for watching not only this video, but all you, if you did, as well as if you've seen this video for the first time, you've never seen me before, you can click that subscribe button, you can click that like button, you can comment your thoughts below, comment your favourite movie of the year, what you thought about my list, what is your list stands, whatever you'd like to talk about, just add it in, because why not? But of course guys, have a good one.